Thanks for joining us. All right, so this is it Saturday, Friday night? It's one of those nights. Saturday morning, Friday night. All right, so this is Holographic People. The CERN wormhole. I haven't done anything on CERN for a while. It's here zapping all of our energies and creating clones of our reality. And the Matrix moon. I know it's like there's a theory about, it's everything. There's a dome around the earth. There's a matrix energy. The moon is basically manipulating our reality. There's different ways of looking at that. It's helping. It's not helping. It's doing a little bit of everything. It's just keeping us in a physical form. Let's put it that way. Of course, we can be in a physical form without it, but it does have agendas connected to it. Well, you can say it's like a space station for aliens to pay attention to us or keep an eye on us, or however you want to word it. Something around those lines. It's whatever you want it to be. How about that? Just like everything else. Yeah, I see YouTube's doing a good job on blocking my channel as usual. Shadow banning my channel for 8 years. Yeah, it's like a birthday. Every year is a new year for that. I love it. Yeah, it's a great platform. It's still better than Rumble, but not by much. So holographic people is not a new subject matter. Just going into it, there's not a whole lot of new of anything really. I saw something about the Sims that were simulation, I guess, if you want to use that. Yeah, it's so if you're a being, the demiurge that created our reality. So if you can create the physical reality here, that's now you call yourself a god and want people to worship you. So how hard is it to have? If you create this, how hard is it for you to, have background people here or holographic people? It's not that hard at all. So, and that's what creates our, they have to keep the machine going. It's not the majority. It might be, it's not always going to be clear. I don't know. That might be off limits to tap into that in its full level. It's like half and half. It's like half real people, half holographic people. But the holographic people still have some kind of soul. They have some kind of energy there. They exist somewhere. So it's not all. That's why they feel so real, because it's really hard to tell. I just kind of go with it. But holographic people definitely are your regular people. And that's not all of them, but it's a good portion of it. They're just living among us, living the normal life, whatever it is. Reading People magazine, watching CNN or Fox, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Just playing the game. Well, they're just easier to adapt to it because somebody has to do it. So it's also, this so-called God that created this reality is learning from it also. He has to test us. So it's different. Yeah, it's a heart lesson or a heart growth of the heart, but it's a little bit of everything. And CERN technology, the wormhole, you say this world came from a wormhole. Obviously it came from other alien beings. That's Priscilla in the background. At least she's over there not tearing that down. Fritzy's sleeping somewhere. I'm not sure where she is. Of course, CERN technology, of course, is alive and well. Yes, they do create wormholes. I feel like they even wanted to. I feel like it's like a doomsday device. It's not going to work, but it is. They do want to destroy the planet, I feel, but they can't. But I feel like they want to. Well, it might not be going the way they wanted to. The elite energies that are here, they just agenda, not, because a lot of agendas, people give a lot of credit to the elites and all that, but they failed a lot too. So if you keep failing, why not destroy the place and move on? But they can't do that. So that's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, there might be other technologies out there, but CERN is definitely one that, it's like a what's a good word for it? I can't think of the word, but a doomsday device. Of course, they're going to say it's not, but when you look at CERN, it doesn't look normal because it's not. And it does put out energies like people that live by CERN. It does do a lot of manipulations around there too. So interesting. I don't know. Holographic people interesting. I don't know. I think it's a mixture of some do get sick and some don't, but they just like there's like two different types. There's different types of matrix people, of course, or the holographic people. Some that get sick all the time and others that never get sick. I'm not sure there's ever a middle ground to any of that. So anyway, and also the matrix moon, where basically it's creating our reality, or it's a contribution to it. But there's positives to it also. But either way, there's a lot of layers to it. But it's like a moon. It's an alien base, basically. But it does have some healing properties to it. I mean, it's here to also help us through this. You say all the bad decisions that were made during our Earth past. Of course, the civilizations here we can't. It's not all Atlantis, but there's a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff we can't explain. For obvious, we're not supposed to. Not until we get our act together. Of course, there's always going to be theories and all that. That's going to continue. But the moon is basically just put there because we just couldn't get our act together. So now it's like our mom, the parents' room to keep an eye on us. So it's another way of looking at it. It's like we can't get our act together, so we have the moon watching out for us, or the moon people, or however you want to word it. Until we get our act together, then the moon can be replaced. And the Earth can go to a more higher frequency energy. We can have several more moons, but right now we are where we at currently. Of course, there has been several. That's the thing. You go into this awakening. It's like not that you need anybody to believe you, but we definitely had a lot of insectoid wars here in the past. Giant insectoid beings. Now, do they want to get rid of the human race? I don't. They just want here to attack the human race, which they're still doing now, but in smaller form. Instead of a 6-foot mantis being, you have a little creature. Yeah, for what chaos. Yeah, it'd be weird if you've had these like huge bugs flying around in the skies. That's going to make everyone's day. But like something from the prehistoric time. So. All right, going to Avatar.com and private sessions as scheduler. We have shop here. I forget. I'm like in the middle of what is this? November? Yeah, November. We also have the Sedona trip. I believe tickets are still available. Of course, tickets aren't exactly cheap either. And I think Monday is the Vortexes and Tuesday is the Grand Canyon. So, so of course it comes with the hotel bill and everything. So that's why it's so expensive. And Sedona is not cheap for some bizarre reason. I don't know what that is. Anyway, the webinar Wednesday, social network and behind the scenes. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So holographic people. Of course, there's different ways of interpreting everything. So whatever interpretation you have is probably fine also. It doesn't really matter. Well, it's whatever it takes to make this all work for you. Obviously, the spiritual energies, spiritual communities, There's a lot of magic being done there. There's a lot of manipulation done there to, slow things down, actually. Yeah, it's not a power grab and so on. Yeah. Yeah, eventually people have started realizing it. Well, you wonder why they banned witches and all that. We're starting to see why, because the abuse that some of them do here. So, well, it's not just witchcraft, it's like a lot of other things, but yeah. So, all right, we're going to holographic energy, CERN, and the Matrix people. So, or Matrix Moon, but I guess it's part of the Matrix people too. So, all right, blessings. Greetings. This is the Demiurge. So, a godlike being that can do whatever he wants is going to make a reality as hard as he wishes to, or it wishes to, but why not? It's because to continue, this creation for the physical realm to live forever. Because, like, you create a masterpiece like this planet, some of you might not see it as a masterpiece, but some of us do. It's the physicality of it. It is a unique world. It's a work of art, even if you don't see it that way. And so you want to allow these challenges to occur, maybe even hell on earth, to keep the world at a physical level. And it's up to humanity to change things. But yes, there's a lot of pushback. Why not? It's like once we see progress of humanity, there's always some kind of challenge that comes to push it backwards. Now you can push against it, which many do, or others just give up. Is this to make it hard for you to ascend this planet? Doesn't mean it's impossible. It just is hard, as many of you have seen. Well, you see all of these alternative timelines, or the apocalyptic timelines, or the timelines where Ascension is now near, when it's actually probably thousands of years in the future or longer. It's up to you. Yes, humanity is snapping out of its hold, sort of. But those of you, yes, who are saying your words, your enlightenment, it is helping. It's helping spirituality become stronger, the astral becomes stronger. Basically, many beings here in the physical feel like the spirit world is weak. So they come here, become a physical being, and you can say almost battle the non-physical realms. Doesn't it feel like you're in a battle? Others feel like this is paradise because they're going by what the system wants them. It's, if you're not fighting against the system, it'll give to you. But if you're to go against it, talk about the spirit realms, alien beings, and all that, this world is going to fight you on that. Yes, it's like going, to a holiday dinner and saying, no, and being very difficult. And I believe you've heard this before, the physical realms and the spiritual realms having, disagreements with each other. It's for the spirit realm to also understand the physical realm. Both are warning from each other. Yes, light is warning from darkness. Darkness does feel like it's stronger than the light. Of course, the light is also very powerful itself, but the light also gets very naive. It gets very extremely naive because it feels like light is answer to everything. And then darkness comes in and marries the dark, or marries the light. And then the light wonders why it married the devil. It's like, why didn't I see this coming? So it also shows the trickery of darkness. So you look at the world and its marriages, how people just get married here. It's like, why you have this light person marrying evil? Gives you an understanding of those have been in the light for a very long time. Does it make it bad? Does it make it wrong? Is this that you come here to be educated of how the dark works, how demonic beings work? So holographic beings are born here, yes, to make things more difficult for you. And more holographic people are brought here, if necessary, to until humanity, yes, those that want to evolve will evolve. And they can, but there's always going to be pushback for now. Well, society itself has to want to know about the astral realms. They'll still have a physical world here no matter what. It might not be as physical as it is now. But there's, when you create a game, a planetary invention like this world, you're not going to make it easy. There are other worlds that are, it's like a game board. You go to the toy shop and look at all the different games. There's games that are easy. There are games that you still learn, but this one is one of the hardest ones, as you can see. Well, this is like you buy. Well, even you can go to the store, buy this planet as a game, open it up, and get literally trapped in it. Like, you can play this game for years and not get anywhere. As some of you see that. You make some progress. I don't believe there's a game like that on your planet like that. But that's this planet. Well, I think you're getting somewhere, and especially those that have mastered the art of how this reality works. So those that have mastered this physical realm, they don't want to end it. If they're successful here, they want to continue it that way. So talking about spirituality, have a version of it where they have prosperity and everyone else works for them. And of course, you're here to heal that. So those that are very successful here, not everybody, but some, want, like the corporation level, even the politicians, become successful and they put their energy out there. It's like, I like this success. I want to keep it this way. So those that view that are spiritual, here to open up with aliens and all that, they literally freeze reality. As some of you probably feel that way. They freeze the progress. But why? You feel like you're moving spiritually. You feel like there's all these blockages because others don't want you to ascend. Well, you can ascend, but they're just more difficult. This planet is kind of like a cult in some ways. It's like a physical cult. It wants it to think a certain way, a physical way. But the non-physical is still a mystery. It's like, do you really want that? Now, obviously, non-physical beings look at the physical realm. It's like, why do you want that? So there's a little bit of a war between the two worlds, as you can see. Brings you. We are the CERN consciousness. Yes, to dial back humanity. It is a weapon of the elites. Yes, it cannot take this world away, but it's actually sending other elites to other realities, especially when they feel like they can't accomplish as much as they like to accomplish here. So, of course, the elites go from one world to the other to dominate society. If you want to connect to the elite, you don't have to. They have nothing against you for the most part. That's up to you if you want to connect to that energy. But connecting more to yourself and healing others, sometimes it's better being around your common people, the normal people, you can say technically, than being around elite systems. Because elitists are very controlling in many ways, and they can even compromise your energy. Not always, but they can try. But being around the common folk, you actually have progress there, because even if people don't believe in spirituality, you still put out a healing frequency. Even if you don't believe in everything, you don't have to agree with everything, but it's all about the frequency you put out of just a calmness, a healing energy, and just releasing blockages. And that's really what matters in the long run, really, when it comes down to it. It's basically making this world a better place in a little way, just little, just basically tolerable. It's like, the energy, like a beach, nature. Many of you come here just to connect with nature, as you know. So you blend in with those frequencies. Like, what am I doing here? Well, I'm connected to that tree. I'm connected to that grass. I'm connected to the world's nature, all of it. You're not just connected to one tree. You're connected to millions or billions, if you want to look at it that way. The same thing with the ocean. So you have tree people, you have ocean people. Not everybody has to be a lover of the ocean, but many are. So you continue that energy as of that. Of course, others are connected to aliens, basically as a communications for the aliens to connect to humans, to understand humans through yourself. So obviously you have galactic beings around you and just basically helping you, understand this human condition, because aliens can get very disconnected from society. I think some of you know that. Well, now if they watch your world, but if they watch it through you, it makes it easier. Now, not everybody's doing that, but some of you are. Well, it's just like you are the television set and they're watching, but they also feel what you go through too. So, because they can't just watch your world and understand it, they have to kind of feel it out. So, they are spirit guides at some level. Of course, many do incarnate here, but of course, when they incarnate here, they don't remember anything. Now, they became star seeds and then remember too much about their alien lifetimes. And it's like, wow, that was a mistake. Yeah, many of them incarnated during the 1950s. I mean, there's always been an influx of star seeds incarnating here. But the CERN wormhole, yes, there's many wormholes here, especially around Afghanistan. Of course, they connect to other versions of Earth. So Sedona, there's different places where these vortexes are connected to other versions of Earth, where basically, yes, time travelers come to those vortexes. Of course, you wouldn't notice that. You're not going to walk through a portal and say hello. It doesn't work that way. They just appear on your planet somewhere in your timeline. And your timeline is kind of reset so they can be a part of your society. All of a sudden, that birth certificate, all of a sudden, they have this and that. For various different, if they're going to be here for a long time. So, but as time travelers, just work through the vortexes around the Earth, basically. And the Bermuda Triangle is, they have time traveling ships that go through there, and you might not see them in your physical reality, but possibly you might tap into it. The cloud formations of the aliens are, most of the aliens are trying to be civil towards each other. They know if they get into a little rift, it causes your world trouble. So they're trying to keep things kind of peaceful overall. Because if they start going to war with each other, your world feels it. Not to say your world isn't always going through a war. It's always some kind of war. I mean, especially at restaurants, there's this dish clean enough or whatever it might be that's going on. Music venues. Of course, music venues, as you know, are rituals. Same as your Greek time periods, your Roman time periods. It has a lot of Greek energy of basically how they hypnotize society. Well, it's basically also for some of your holographic people to get their downloads. For some. Not everybody's under that spell, but quite a few of them are. Blessings. Brings to you the consciousness of the moon. Actually, many of you have had incarnations on the moon, and you can see some become more compassionate towards humanity. Not everyone's been compassionate towards this world, obviously. Especially you're an alien being. Look at this world. It's like, what is there? What's wrong with the species again? And it's easy to criticize. But when you incarnate here, you feel it all, especially when you're so stubborn as an alien being. You feel like, oh, those humans, they don't know anything. Then you incarnate in a very difficult lifetime. It's like, oh, now my eyes are open. Born as an orphan or whatever it might be, or just very difficult parents. Yeah, you're here to open your eyes. You'd be surprised how many incarnate here just to awaken, just to become more aware of the presence. Yeah, of course, you have somebody back there. So, of course, a distracting energy. But as a moon energy, moon being, some of you have been feline beings, canine energies, and to connect to that time, everyone here has had at least some kind of connection to the moon in some form or another. At least literally been on the moon itself in some form or another. Because it's when you connect to the moon, you just read the vibrations of the planet. You don't have to be that close to the moon, but as an alien being, you can just tap into the moon's energy, and the moon kind of talks to you. At least because the moon's kind of like a computer, like a organic computer to some level. But it's basically, it is part of this Earth's energy, though. It plays a vital role in its Earth's existence. It's trying to control society, kind of. It is trying to. It's there to keep knowledge away from you for right now, what you can't handle. So it's balancing your Earth's energy. When you're allowed to know more, it opens up, things change, and then more of downloads come through, more of high vibrations come in. Obviously, yes, there's many manipulations here, but also some of the humans need those manipulations for their own lessons, for whatever it might be. Once again, many come here just to open up their eyes, not just on a spiritual level, but to open their eyes of what kind of world this is. Given that as a starseed being, many are kind of ignorant of what kind of world they're dealing with. So some might not remember that. They feel like they've been sent here for various as punishment. Well, when you go to school, yes, it's kind of like that. But it's not, it's for your own good. It's not for punishment. You might feel as a punishment. It's like, I should have read those school books as an alien being, but I ignored it. And now I'm here experiencing it. And others have realized their mission. They take this earth in. It's like, yes, they read the books about this planet. They read everything, but they have to incarnate here to truly experience it, to truly get to know it, to basically help ascend it, to just for various different reasons, to better themselves, but also to help with this the coming change, which is always in flux. But the slow moving reality, slow moving society. Yes, there might be matrix people here, holographic people, but without that, it's still society. There's no hurry. Because it's just they've had it easy in other realities, so they don't have it easy here for a reason. Just because other realities you can have things so easily, every beauty, everything is so easily to have that, but to have the opposite here is a treasure, because it really just helps you, know better about yourself, more appreciation in higher dimensions. It actually makes you stronger. It just does. When you have the opposite of what you want, you become internally stronger. You just do. It just happens. It's kind of like you're like climbing a rope, like you're holding on to the rope as the wind is blowing really hard. You're just hanging in there. It's kind of like that, but there's so much more to it than that. But that's kind of one way of looking at it. We are technically climbing a mountain for your own ascension. But as you climb it, you're wearing, if you're just climbing a mountain, you're wearing some things. But this reality, obviously, you're climbing emotions, feelings, all of this, false implant ideas, and so on. Yes, other alien societies have emotions. Yes, of course they do. They can be emotionless or have too much emotions. They can turn it on, turn it off, whatever it might be. But your world can't turn off emotions as much as like to. Obviously, fear is one of the mechanisms by the reptilians. Well, just because they don't want you to do anything. They want you to stay at home and leave everybody alone and just not go anywhere, to show that they've won. So you're here to show them that they have lost by living as much as you can.